I do not know how it is that I have come to know these things. Whether they were whispered to me in dreams, uncovered in forgotten texts, or impressed upon my mind by some agency older than the stars themselves, I cannot say. Yet the knowledge remains with me, persistent and undeniable, and so I commit it to record. For the universe, as we know it, did not begin in the way our philosophers imagine. It did not arise from explosion or accident, nor was it fashioned deliberately by a creator who desired worlds and living things. Rather, existence itself is the byproduct of a far older struggle. Before the first star burned, before space had direction, and before time had begun its relentless march, there existed only a single awareness. This being possessed no body, nor any shape that the human mind might comprehend. It occupied all things and no place at all. Its thoughts contained the totality of possibility, though nothing had yet been compelled to manifest. It was, if one must use a word for such a condition, complete. Around it lay an endless stillness, not darkness, for darkness implies the absence of light, and light had not yet been born. Not emptiness, for emptiness implies a space waiting to be filled. There was simply perfect equilibrium. Nothing moved. Nothing changed. Nothing ever had. Had this state continued indefinitely, there would be no stars, no worlds, and certainly no men to ponder the question of their origins. But perfection, as it would seem, is not immune to disturbance. At some unknowable moment, the stillness faltered. The awareness perceived it at once, a tremor so slight that it might have escaped the notice of any lesser intelligence. Something had moved, not deliberately, not consciously, but undeniably. A ripple spread across the infinite quiet, like a fracture racing across the surface of unbroken glass. The awareness turned its attention upon this phenomenon. What it observed could not easily be described. The disturbance possessed no coherent form. It twisted and folded upon itself with a restless energy that seemed almost eager to transform everything it touched. Where it passed, the perfect stillness collapsed into unpredictable motion. Patterns disintegrated before they could stabilize. Possibility spilled outward in wild, uncontrolled directions. The awareness studied this anomaly for a long while. It found no intention within the disturbance, no design, no purpose. It simply changed things. Because it was the nature of the awareness to understand, it gave the phenomenon a name. It called it chaos. Chaos neither acknowledged the name, nor seemed capable of doing so. It continued its erratic passage through the infinite quiet, twisting reality into increasingly unstable forms. The awareness observed patiently as the disruption spread. At last, however, the disturbance reached a magnitude that could not be ignored. Where chaos passed, the equilibrium of existence unraveled. Stillness gave way to violent contradiction. The awareness did the only thing it could do. It responded. Where chaos tore the fabric of the quiet apart, the awareness gathered the fragments and bound them into order. Where motion spiraled without restraint, the awareness imposed pattern. Where contradiction threatened to consume everything, the awareness forced stability. Thus, the first act of creation occurred, not as an act of imagination, nor as an expression of desire, but as a countermeasure. Chaos twisted again, unraveling the structures the awareness had formed. The awareness responded once more. With every exchange between them, the nature of existence altered. Events began to occur in sequence rather than simultaneously. Moments separated themselves from one another like beads upon a string. Without intending it, the awareness had created a new condition. We now call it time. Chaos moved eagerly through this fresh dimension, shattering moments into storms of unpredictable transformation. The awareness followed close behind, stabilizing what it could. Their conflict intensified. Where chaos tore open vast wounds in the fabric of reality, the awareness answered with forces of tremendous power. The first of these responses ignited in a blaze of unimaginable energy. It shone against the darkness of the infinite quiet, with such brilliance that it could not be ignored. Heat radiated outward, light pierced the stillness. Movement cascaded through the surrounding void. The awareness examined this phenomenon carefully. It held, despite the violent distortions inflicted by chaos, the structure endured. Satisfied, the awareness allowed the phenomenon to persist. Thus, the first star came into being. Chaos rushed toward it immediately, eager to unravel the new creation. The star trembled under the assault. The awareness responded by igniting another, then another. Soon, the darkness of the infinite quiet was punctured by countless blazing points of stability. None had been planned, none had been desired. They were simply the necessary answers to chaos's endless disruption. And so the battlefield between order and unraveling began to glow with light. Neither force understood victory, neither conceived of surrender. Yet their struggle had already produced something neither had intended: a universe